beseech for help. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray. I mean, in the most holy name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet the family once again in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. For those who are not familiar with those greetings, it only means peace be unto you. During the time of Jesus, when he was among us, the English language was not in existence at that time. And so during that time, his language that Jesus spoke was either Hebrew or ancient Aramaic. So if the Jesus of 2,000 years ago were to speak in his language, he would greet you with either Assalamu alaikum or Shalom alaikum. And so whenever that is actually the best type of greeting, because that is actually offering someone prayer. You're offering someone a peace of mind. And you never know when you engage with one another what someone is going through. And so we know, hi, how you doing? You know, we do those things because that's what we're used to doing. But we really don't want to know how someone is doing, right? And if they actually told you, you're like, look, man, I really wasn't. I was just saying it just for the saying it. So the best way we can greet one another and leave one another, just offer each other peace. And even if you don't say it in the Arabic language, you can always say it in the English language. Peace, brother. Peace, sister. May God's peace and blessings be on you. And hopefully those words, where whatever that person is going through, we pray that those words are sufficient to bring God's peace on that individual. And so what I would like to do at this time is just read a Quranic verse from the Holy Quran, which is the book of guidance for the Muslims. Now, for those who study Islam, one thing that the Quran teaches us, it says that, there are messengers that we tell you about, and there's messengers that we don't tell you about. And so the Quran keeps it open that just because you don't read it in either the Holy Quran or the Bible, don't dismiss somebody that may come with a different religious belief. Because if there is a day of judgment, and we know there is going to be a day of judgment, would it be fair if God didn't send a messenger or a prophet to every people to give them the opportunity for salvation? So that's why as a Muslim, we embrace all faiths. We don't set up barriers if you're practicing true Islam. And Islam only means peace, right? Or no, yeah, peace. And the way that you enter into peace is by obeying God. So I would just like to read these words from the Holy Quran. And it goes like this. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Allah has written down, I shall certainly prevail, I and my messengers. Surely Allah is strong, mighty. Thou wilt not find a people who believe in Allah and the latter day, loving those who oppose Allah and his messenger, even though they be their fathers or their sons or their brothers or their kinsfolk. These are they into whose hearts he has impressed faith and strengthened them with a spirit from himself. And he will cause them to enter gardens wherein flow rivers, abiding therein. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with him. These are Allah's party. Now surely it is Allah's party who are successful. I pray that Allah is with you, family, in your grief. And at this time, I would like to bring up our local representative of the Ams Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, Brother Student Minister Stephen Muhammad.
Once again, greetings, and the proper language that we use is Assalamu alaikum. So beautiful. And initially I told Sister Karen, this is the pandemic and people are still a little nervous, and don't be hurt if you don't get a decent turnout, because I have done some funerals during the pandemic. But when I pulled in the parking lot, I said, okay, is this the right place? Because it looked like a celebration was going on, which is the appropriate mood for today. I have officiated janazahs or funerals for babies, for young people, 21, 22 years old. Those hurt deeply. But when you get down the road a piece and you've lived a full life and you have done what the God birthed you here to do, then it becomes a celebration. And so that's what we're here for. And we thank Almighty God, Allah, that all of you took time out of your lives to be here to help us to celebrate the life of our beloved brother Albert. Now, we do have a program today that you have the copies of it, and we're going to go right through it. Hopefully all the parties are here. When you're trying to plan an event during the pandemic, we've learned that there are no guarantees. People say, yes, I'm going to be there, and then boom, somebody gets sick, something happens, and you have to call audibles, so to speak. And we're able to do that. I'm sure that with this beautiful crowd of believers and family and friends, that wherever we fall short, you will cover down and help us to get today's task accomplished. Is that right? So once again, we're in celebratory mode. We don't want, I know that's what Brother Al would want. And he would want us to leave out of here as we get further in the program with a few directives, which we'll get to before the day is out. But what's not on the program that we will do before we leave here is offer the Janazah prayer for our brother. And we'll ask anyone that desires to engage or participate in that service to do so. It's an excellent way for you to not only show our beloved brother that we love him. Notice the present tense. I didn't say loved, because you still love him. That didn't change. And as we get through the day, God willing, we'll understand something more about what life is and how the righteous do not die. And hopefully everybody in here would consider yourself a part of the righteous. We don't have no enemies in here, do we? Right. So that's what we're talking about today. And that's worth celebrating in and of itself, that we all are here in the spirit of love and unity. So we're going to go through the program and invite our sister, Mrs. Cooper. Is she here? Mrs. Cooper? She's going to offer a selection. And then from there, we're going to get into the obituary with Valerie Watkins. So please receive Mrs. Cooper.
The life journey of Albert Eugene Knight. Albert Eugene Knight was born to Ernest and Eugenia Bragg Knight, April 13th, 1932, in Birmingham, Alabama. He was the fourth of 9 children. Albert, mostly called Al by the family and friends, was named after his great-grandfather and uncles. He attended Interurban Heights Elementary School and later Fairfield Industrial High School, where he played basketball and football with schoolmate the great Willie Mays in 1947. At the age of 17, he enlisted into the 1st Integrated U.S. Air Force, where he became military police and barber. He served 5 years with an honorable discharge. He received the National Defense Medal of Honor. After leaving the service, he attended 1 year at Miles College. Al was known for his rich baritone voice, competing in many talent shows on the radio and television. He had a personality and wonderful voice that everyone enjoyed. While in Alabama, he became an excellent barber, but moved his talents to Akron to open the first modern barbershop, the West Side Barbershop, on the corner of Worcester Avenue and Raymond. He married Renetta Donnie, and from that the union of 5 children were born: Inez, Antoine, Albert, April, and Anthony. Later, he married Waitha Johnson. With 4 children together, they started the National Coalition of the Black Church Musicians. After the death of his wife, he moved back to Akron, bringing with new investments in health products, such as Dick Gregory, Noni Juice, and All Life Pain Relief. I had put that All Life. He was the founder of the Black Millionaire Group. In 1995, he met Karen Eves, who from day one was devoted to Al until his death. Albert became a Muslim in the Nation of Islam Mosque number 37. He was a founder. He and Karen received the last plaque on January 12, 2002 for their dedication and service to a fallen humanity. Albert was preceded in death by his parents, sisters, Lillian and Elizabeth, and brothers Ernest, Arthur, and Herman. He leaves to cherish his precious memories, the love of his life, Karen, 10 children, stepchildren, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, 2 sisters, Shirley Folks and Joyce Watkins, brother Robert Andre with his wife Cassandra, aunts Louise Bragg, as well as many nephews, nieces, cousins, extended family, and friends. Rest in peace, Uncle Al. You are truly and forever will be one in a million.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be reading a poem that the family has requested. There's no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that enough love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open, no gulf that enough love will not bridge, no wall that enough love will not throw down, no sin that enough love will not redeem. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, How muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only, if only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and the most powerful being in the world. I have one last item I like to read here. A good life is when you assume nothing. You do more, need less, smile often, dream big. You laugh a lot and realize just how blessed you are. Thank you.
This is the portion of the program where we do put a little bit of restraints on the liberties that we take in sharing a story, a memory, something cherished as it relates to Brother Al. So the tributes. This is the time we open it up for family and friends to come forward and offer that. So I just wanted to preface it with that. I don't want anybody to feel like you're being policed, right? But we do need to be respectful of time so we can get everything done for our brother and then be out of here at the appropriate hour. Okay? Okay, so the floor is open, and any of you who would like to share, this is the time for you to come and do so.
Thank you, bro. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Arthur B. Knight Jr., Uncle Al, my uncle. And, Valerie said a little something about that all life. I don't think there's anybody in here who hasn't been sprayed. I had cases of it coming up, when I was in the floor covering business, man, all the guys talking about their knees hurt. Al, I need some spray. Keep working, And I'm sure everybody got a lot of stories. And like he said, I'm going to keep this one quick, but this one is dear to my heart. And, Dad had passed away. It had been some years. And he was always my go-to guy for, advice. And I said, who can I give this to? And Uncle Al came to mind. And I called him, and I said, Uncle Al, I'm in a tough situation here. I said, I'm running for a position in the union, the largest union, the strongest transportation union local in the country in Canada. And it's an executive board position. And I said, these guys that's on the board, they fighting, they jockeying, they looking out for each other. I said, but I feel like I'm ready to step up to the next level. And I said, man, they won't let me in. I said, but I don't know. I said, I got to come up with something. I need your help. He said, Bug, don't fight them. He said, get within the people. He said, the people are the ones that vote, right? I said, yeah. He said, all right, election time, this is what you do. I said, what's that, Uncle Al? So I felt his smile through the phone. He said, I want you to tell them, do it right with Knight. If you don't vote for Knight, then you didn't do it right. I said, ooh wee, Uncle Al, I love that. I said, man, you got a rap and a hook. I said, Uncle Al, you bad, man. I had tears in my eyes. So sure enough, I got out there, everybody jockeying and campaigning, out in front of Union Hall. And I'm telling people, yeah, do it right with Knight. You don't vote for Knight, you know you didn't do it right? So I'm running it. So then this lady comes out. She said, Mr. Knight, I gotta find you, I gotta tell you. I said, yes, ma'am, what happened? She said, we all had flyers and cards to who to vote for. But when we got in the building, they took all of our flyers. So don't nobody know who to vote for no more. They done forgot all the names. She said, but Mr. Knight, I remembered you. I said, oh, yeah, She said, yeah, do it right with Knight. If you don't for Knight, you don't vote for Knight, you didn't do it right. I voted for you, Mr. Knight. I said, yeah. So everybody started coming out of the building. I got you, Knight. I did it right. I voted for Knight. And I'm like this, yeah. And my competitor said, man, yeah, the hook and the line, man. That's all right. I was like, yeah, that's right, you know. Oh, I won.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Herman Knight. You know, I always wanted to say that, but my name is Winford Brisker. I'm Herman Knight's first cousin, but 12 people said, hi, Herman, hi, Herman. And they hugged me, so I hugged them back. Hey. So Herman is 12 people you don't have to say nothing to. Speaking of Bugs saying how Uncle Al helped him get in, he also helped me get in too. I had a position on a job and I was trying to get in. Didn't know nothing about it. Lawyers, doctors, scientists, everybody's in there. My uncle said, you belong in there. He said, go on in the room and just do what you do. I said, what's that? Do what I taught you. So I go to the door and I said, hey, I want to come in. And they didn't let me in. And my uncle said, are you doing it wrong? And I said, what did I do wrong? He said, you said it wrong. And I went back. Good morning, sir. I would like to come in, please. And he said, no, you still said it wrong. And I said, what is it? Good morning, sir. Excuse me. And he said, just walk in. Don't ask. He said, walk in, and that's how he did. It's another thing he told me. Let me pull it out. Y'all know he always prepared. This list, there's a few of your names on it, and I'll be collecting after this service is over. You know how he was. Your name is on here. 80% of his nieces and nephews went to college, but I didn't go. The time has changed. I just graduated from the 12th grade, and my grade point average wasn't what I wanted to be to get in. So I asked him, I said, what am I going to do? He said, you're going to be all right, but I need you to remember something. He said, this is going to get you through life. He said, nephew, before you pray, he said, you must believe. Yeah. He said, before you spend, you must earn. Yeah. He said, before you speak, you must listen. He said, before you write, you must think, because it's going to be there forever. He said, before you quit, you must try. And he said, last but not least, before you die, you must live. And nobody could live like he did. I'm a product of him. He was my professor in college. So everything he knew, he gave it to me. So imagine what this is. You're looking at him. This is Al right here standing in front of me. And I want to say one more thing. That's his brother, so it's all right. The rain has stopped, and the skies were blue. But oh, what a revelation to see. Someone was saying, I love you to me. Uncle Al.
Good morning, my name is Sherry, and I'm Al's favorite niece from I have a lot of stories about my uncle, but we would be up in here all day. But he truly was an entrepreneur. And everybody in here should have life, because I know you've been sprayed, you've been rubbed, and I know my mother and cousin Marietta got some in their purse right now. That all life. But Al never met a stranger. he would come to Chicago, he and the brothers, and visit quite often. He would have my friends all out at the flea markets, antiquing. He also, one day my doorbell rang. It was my mail lady. I thought she was bringing me a package. She said, "Where's that man?" I said, "A man?" I thought she meant my husband. She said, "A man was here, and he sprayed me." I said, "Oh, my God." He sprayed my mail lady. She said, "My knees were hurting so bad." She said, "And I just want to know if you have some more of that spray." I called Uncle Al. I said, "Did you spray my mail lady?" "Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Sell her some of that All Life you got in the garage. I left you a box." He was something. Another time, the brothers came to visit, and my Uncle Art came also. Uncle Al had this blue solution in a bottle for you to soak in. He ran some water in the bathtub. He poured the solution in, it bubbled up. He said Art was gonna get in the tub and soak. I left, went to work, came home. Where was Uncle Art? Still in that tub. I said, "I know you don't have my uncle." Still in that tub. I said, "Please go get my uncle out the tub." Uncle Art came out of there with his robe on. I feel good. Everything is fine. Looking like a prune. He had been in that tub for about 10 hours. But my Uncle Al, I love him. We talked about 2 weeks before he passed, and our last words were, "I love you." I will never forget him. He was truly an entrepreneur, and he taught me how to be an entrepreneur, and I'm grateful for that.
Good afternoon. That's a little weak. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert A. Bragg, Jr., and you probably already know the connection. And when I walked up here today, I saw a family. I didn't know them necessarily, but I saw that they were family. You guys all look alike. I just want to let you know that. I'm going to tell you a little story. I was in elementary school, and one of the teachers said, "You know, you have a cousin here at the school." I said, "I have a cousin? And his name is the same as yours." I didn't think that could be, that you could have a cousin with your name. Well, I met Albert. Found out he was my cousin. And through the years, his dad, my cousin, Albert, used to always tease me. He would say, "I'm the real Albert." I said, "Well, that can't be, because my dad is older than you, and he's Albert. So how could you be the real Albert?" And just so you know, we all come from Prince Albert Bragg, who was my great-grandfather, his grandfather. So I wanted to say, I am the real Albert. But I kind of get the last word on this one. But I read something once, and many of you probably know where it's from. And that is, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. Albert is a good name. Thank you.
Is Sister Diane on deck? There she is. And she's going to be sharing a thank you. And then we have to move a little bit more expeditiously because the time is on us. We have to get to the cemetery. But I don't want to rush you, Sister Diane, because you know you be.
He know. Thank you. Acknowledgements. And thank you from the family. When it seemed that our loss was too great to bear, we looked up and our friends were there, with flowers and words written and spoken, with face smiling and hearts open. You comforted us and shared our grief. God will bless and keep you, granting all relief. Our gratitude cannot adequately express with more words, but they are the best that we have to offer in saying thank you for lifting the clouds and letting the sun shine through. From the Knight family.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you again, Sister Diane. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm just following orders. Okay, so, but there's a lot that I could say, but again, being pressed for time, I'm going to cut and paste some of that because we have to get this prayer. The prayer piece is only about 2 or 3 minutes, but when I think about any believer who stepped up at a most difficult time to help the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to establish Islam in North America, that class of person, human, special breed. I'll give you an example of just how special. And then I'm going to read from Surah 90 as brother. If they say life begins at the heartbeat, then he was in his 90th year. And this is a very special chapter in the Holy Quran because it really, by my estimation, summarizes the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to do the impossible in America. And we all bear witness that that work has happened. I stand here as a witness if nobody else will say yes or no to that. But I know as a family, when we gave the greetings, we had an overwhelming response. A greeting that was not popular in the 50s or the 60s, but began to grow in popularity. And it grew in popularity in large part because of men like Brother Al. A captain, even any kind of officer in the Nation of Islam, is a tall order. But to function in that capacity in the early years is a special, the constitution of that individual is something else. Now, I've heard a lot of stories about Brother Al. When I came in as a young man and our task was to reestablish Muhammad's Mosque number 37, there were a lot of believers who were around, and they were watching to see what kind of man are you? Are you doing this for a week, for a month, or are you in this for the long haul? And what is your character? Because we've been through some things, right? And the more stories I heard, I thought to myself, good gracious. That's a North Carolina term, good gracious. Good gracious. For anyone to hang out during those times and under those conditions, yes, you loved the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But the brothers, the FOI, the Fruit of Islam, and the MGT, Muslim Girls in Training, I ain't no girl. We had to deal with that. But being God's daughter is just fine. I listen to sisters when they talk. When you want respect and admiration, you use the language woman. But when you want to be characterized as an innocent creature, then the term girl pops out. Have you guys noticed that? I have. And I try to be a good student. I try to listen more than I talk. And I've learned that there's a beauty, a certain beauty in being a girl. The innocence attached to that is something special. So much so that the story I'm going to tell you is about protecting that innocence. On one occasion, and again, establishing Islam in the 50s and 60s was a tall order. And for those sisters to wear the garment, some of you remember, to put that garment on and walk the streets of America, there was a risk with that. Somebody's going to say something to you. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had put the FOI in such a mental state that the display of love and protection around the MGT to make sure that she stays as an innocent girl in the eyes of God, that had to be protected at all costs. So on one occasion, some brothers or a brother had disrespected one of the sisters in the FOI. A few brothers beat him up. Right? And it got back to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Dear Holy Apostle, sister was disrespected, and some of the FOI beat him up. Wanted to know, what's your position on that? Did they do the right thing? And do you know what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in response? They should have killed the brother. Here's a man that does not play at all on most matters, but when it comes to the protection and the love and respect of the women, you have to set the bar super high and then stand on that. Why do you kill a man for just teasing a righteous, virtuous woman? That sounds a little extreme, don't it? By the way, we never killed any brothers for doing that. But you absolutely would get a knock at your door. Absolutely. So I don't want you to think that, the messenger put a hit out and the fruit went out and started killing people. But over time, people knew, don't go the wrong way with those sisters, brother. Because those men, them suits, they'll be coming to see you. If you said something silly about a sister, if you said something silly about the messenger, you were crossing a line. He had to establish that in order to make sure that we could grow, because a nation can rise no higher than what? Its woman. If you notice, our women are being taken away from us gradually, slowly, right? The man has already been, the war that has been waged on us has left us in such disrepair, brothers, that our wives and our babies are just wide open now for the enemy to just come and do as he pleases. Almost like it was during slavery. Yeah. She's in her feelings about our condition. We in our feelings about our condition. Meanwhile, our children are running wild in the streets. Yeah. You only have one standard right now on womanhood and one standard on manhood. And that was and is the MGT and the FOI. And as we go further into the future, that'll become more apparent to people. All right. Keep watching. These days, you don't know what to think when you see folks, do you? No. Not who is that, but what is going on here. And don't you dare say nothing. You can't have an opinion, because then you get put in the category. So then the Bible and Quran become books that are muted. Look at what's happening here. We thank Allah for men like Brother Al for putting the foundation in, so that even though the winds are going to blow, and they're blowing right now, and the house may look like it's going to fall, it may look that way, but this structure will endure. And so we think we owe a huge debt of gratitude. How do you pay that debt? This is for the family. He gave you advice. He showed you love. He showed you manhood. He showed you how to get money. If he didn't do nothing else, When I first met Brother Al, he was talking about getting some money, man. Oh yeah. He wasn't going to be broke. You know, if you were born in 32 and 33 during the Depression, some young ones don't know about that. You have a certain mentality about never being powerless and broke ever again in your life. You know how to save, and you know how to stay in control when it comes to the money piece. And for a man to be broke and not have, then you know the horrible state of condition that is. Nobody respects you. Nobody respects you as the broke guy. And Brother Al was bent on that, man. I'm never going to be in that condition. I thank Allah for the first time I met Brother Al. Of course, he was pushing the noni, and then came the all life. And Brother Al was the type of brother you couldn't say no to him. His mouthpiece was very strong and persuasive, and if he could get you in a conversation, he was going to be effective, and you were going to change your position. That was going to happen. It's just a matter of how much you changed your position, but you were going to change your position. And everybody came before me and said, yeah, we had cases of all life, and so did I. Yes, he got me too. When he knew he could find me, and he also knew we had a common bond. But so I wanted to just close that by saying, when you have a man like that in front of you, and none of us is his judge, whatever you think you know about brother, and again, I've heard a lot of stories, but whatever you think you know about brother, that's not for you to judge him, because you don't know what you don't know. And you know, we're quick to judge anyway when it's us. Somebody else can treat you like absolute garbage. You give them a pass. But when it's us, talking about black, now I got an attitude with you. And it stays that way. I'm sure he suffered much to make the friends that he made. But I would not let anybody color my thinking about brother. You've had that experience. All praise is due to Allah. Let me have my own experience. I got a mind that works. I know something about who God is. Let me be the one to make the assessment on what I think and believe is true about Brother Al. And that's what I did for him, and I do that for anybody that I meet. When you're in this position, like if you have some kind of official capacity, folks want to come and color your thinking a lot. And as a young man, I see Brother Salam in the back, as a young man coming in, I had to have certain people around me to protect me from that. He was one of them, and a few others. But they want to tell you what to think about people because they know you're going into folks. Right? And that happened to me. Allah blessed me, family, to stand tall on what I believe was the truth. And most of all, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, the best religion is to want for your brother or sister what you want for yourself. Treat people like you want to be treated. Amen. So don't bring me a story and I haven't met the brother yet. Let me meet him. Amen. Let me be the judge. I'll feel his energy. That's right. And I felt his energy. And what I felt most of all from brother was he really wanted to see black people win. Amen. He wanted to see us win, man. And that's what rang through louder than anything else that people might say about our brother. He's a foundational stone, and we honor and respect him by being better Muslims, being better nieces and nephews, being better family members, being a better wife, a better husband, whatever you are. Hopefully he inspires you to be your best self. I'll close with a few verses from Surah 90, and then we're going to offer the Janazah prayer. And I don't know if we'll have time for the selection. But again, I don't want to shortchange anybody. We have a selection that we're going to close with. Surah 90, as brother was in his 90th year. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Nay, I call to witness this city, and thou wilt be made free from obligation in this city. And the begetter, and he whom he begets. We have certainly created man to face difficulties. Does he think that no one has power over him? He will say, I have wasted much wealth. Does he think that no one sees him? Have we not given thee 2 eyes and a tongue and 2 lips, and pointed out to him the 2 conspicuous ways? But he attempts not the uphill road. And this is the part I want to get to. And what will make thee comprehend what the uphill road is? Man is created to face difficulties. That means that it's in you to never cower from a challenge. He told the nephew, go in the room. Don't ask, can you come in? That's Negro thinking, man. I'm a sovereign being. I'm coming in. There's a place at the table that I helped build for me. See, when you know that, people respond to that. When you walk like that, then you find them getting out of the way. This man looks like he got somewhere to go. Let this man through. That works every time. But then when you know who you are, then you start to command reality, man, to yield to you. That's how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad built and established Islam in America, and that's how you and I, as whatever role you have in this life, whatever uphill road that you're struggling with, whatever you're going through, you were built to win. That's what being created to face difficulties is all about. You already won. Again, don't quit before you what? Didn't y'all take a lesson for us, our brother at? He took off from our brother before you try. What will make you comprehend what the uphill road is? It is to free a slave. And then it talks about the orphan and the widow. See, it goes right back to the importance and the beauty of our women who need us, brothers, so they can be innocent girls again. She can't be an innocent girl when she has to go out and do what? Be a man for you and me. She's not built like that. And when you see her trying, the first thing you notice is something is missing here. What happened to you, sweetie? What happened to you? But guess what? There's no such thing as one that is no good. Anyone you find that is no good was what? Made that way, brothers, by a no good man. Remember that the next time you want to cuss your wife out and she's getting on your nerves and everything like that. Hold on, man. I'm the one who's supposed to set the tone here. I'm the one that should be understanding here. I'm the one that should be insightful here. I really have been endowed with power from God, man, to manage my household in the most effective and best manner. So when she tries you, just remember, put God back at the center. You get out of the center, right? The ego. And when you put God back at the center, you'll find her respecting that. That'll work most of the time. It'll work every time. The Janazah prayer is what we offer to those who have transitioned. And it's really a prayer for those who are here. So it starts off, I'll be saying it in silence, but what you'll hear is me saying out loud the Allahu Akbars or the Takbirs. But what happens is we first open, as brother opened the meeting up with Al-Fatiha, the opening of the Quran. 7 verses. I'll be saying that silently. Then we offer greetings to Muhammad, greetings to Abraham, just like we do in our prayer service. Abraham being the father of modern monotheism. Then the last section of the prayer service is we ask Allah God for forgiveness for those who have died, those who are still here, for our young, our old, for our women and our men. We ask Allah God for forgiveness for our males and for our females. Then we say, "O Allah, whoever you have caused to live, make him live in submission to you. And whoever you cause to die, make them to die in faith." That is the big achievement right there, right? If you gotta die, make sure you have lived. And then we'll salam out. So what happens is I'll stand at his equator, which is right here in his center, where the life on our planet is in most abundance. And at his poles is where it's cold and frigid and frozen. Life has ceased. We stand in his equator because we want to carry on our brother's great legacy, and we're fit out to do that. So I stand here, and what you all would do, and Brother Jimmy, if you help, is you can line up around me. We won't have a final viewing, so this will be like the final viewing, because we are short for time. But you'll come up around me. We normally form ranks, but in a situation like this, your presence is just enough, okay? I know as a Muslim understand, it should go this way, brother. We are so difficult. My goodness. The principle, man.
Right.
And introducing people who wouldn't have the opportunity to do this, to have a chance to do it with their beloved.
That's right.
That's the win.
That's right.
So keep that in your head.
That's right.
So you can come up, put your mask on if you need to, and you're going to line up in ranks behind me, and we'll offer the prayer. So that's for those who would like to. If you don't desire to do so, then we respect that as well. But if you would want to, we need you to move a little bit quicker. Again, we don't want to rush nobody. Right off the quarter. See you, brother. When we stand in ranks, family, it's a sign that of the unity. There's a surah in the Holy Quran called the Unity. And we say He, Allah is one. See? One unit of Allah. Don't ever forget that. Your nature is righteousness. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. And all of us together, once we stand with the one idea, bowing down to the one true God, then we really summon His divine energy and presence. And we go out of here and go and do great things in His name and in the name of Brother Al Knight. Is that everybody? Yes, sir. So again, you'll hear me say Allahu Akbar out loud, but the other portions that I recited at the rostrum, I'll be saying in silence. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Love has played its games on me so long. I started to believe I'd never find anyone. Now to try to convince convince me to give in. Said you can't win. But one day the sun came shining through. The rain has stopped and the skies were blue. And oh, what a revelation to see. Someone was saying, I love you to me. Oh, one in a million chance of a lifetime. And life showed compassion and sent to me a stroke of love called you. A one in a million you. I was a lonely man with empty arms to fill. Then I found a piece of happiness to call my own. And life is worth living again. For to love you to me is to live. Oh, one in a million chance of a lifetime. Life showed compassion and sent to me a stroke of love called you. A one in a million you. Oh, one in a million chance of a lifetime. And life showed compassion and sent to me a stroke of love called you.
Could we have some flower ladies, please? Due to the time, I'm asking everyone that is going to the cemetery to please go directly to your car, because we're on a time limit. Ladies, if you'll go to the door. Could we have 6 men to act as pallbearers? Huh? Make sure you have your light flashes on and stay as close as possible to the car in front of you. Pallbearers, go to the front door. And 3 on each side. Would everyone please stand?
Councilman Bradley.